Hello, everyone. Welcome to civicduty.com. I'm joined with Ruben. He is a personal trainer. Uh, to give a little bit of his background, he is from Turin, Italy, and he graduated initially in economics from the University of Turin. I and immigrated to Australia around 2013 to later pursue a career in his real passion, which was fitness. He attained a Diploma of Fitness from the Australian Learning Group and has been working as a personal trainer for a number of years at various gyms. In 2020, he decided to open up his own company called Become Your Own Superhero. He also teaches fitness part time at the fitness at the Australian Learning Group, and I also published a book entitled How to Become Your Superhero. So, Ruben, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Daniela.
So, just to give a little bit more of a breakdown, can you please tell everyone a little bit more about your background and how you got into the fitness industry?
Oh it was always my biggest passion. I didn't have the chance to to pursue my passion when I was in Italy because it wasn't really a thing when I was in Italy. So everyone told me that wasn't really a profession. So my parents told me to do something else. So I studied economy. But after I got my degree in economy, I started to work for an accountant, and it was kind of boring. After 8 months, I decided really to leave and start a new fresh start. Even because my brother was here in Sydney already, and I was kind of missing him. It was the perfect occasion to leave everything, start something new, and this is how everything started, really. And I arrived here. I didn't know how to speak English. That was the first big issue. I didn't know any profession really. So I started by washing dishes, waiter, after I make coffee. And when I was coming back home, in the free time, I was learning about fitness. In the meantime, I was studying at school. And this is how everything started.
Okay. You mentioned in Italy, people were telling you that really a profession. Now, would you say in Italy there's not a real gym culture compared to Australia and other, I suppose, Western countries? And why is that?
Well, I guess yeah, there are certain area in which fitness is more developed. The idea of being healthy and fit. Italy is not at the top of this list. But I don't want to say that there is not the chance to become a personal trainer in Italy, because it's not true. Depending where you are. But I was surrounded by people that didn't believe in that, so I was believing them. After a while, I understood that the all important thing is that you believe in what you want to pursue or what you want to achieve. So, and the best way is to detach yourself from your past to do that. And that's how everything started. Yeah.
Would you say that there's different cultures in regards to fitness? For example, or at least in regards to diet. I mean, I know in Italy it's common for people to eat big carbs type of meals such as pasta, pizza, rice. If you do that in Australia or the Western country, you'll rapidly put on weight. So why do you think that is?
I think it's how the products are made. So when I arrived in Australia, I was basically eating the same way I was eating in Italy, which is a lot of carbs, pasta, bread, and I was putting weight on. I was getting fed up. So I realized that the ingredients are not really the same. I'm not saying that eating pasta and bread and cookies all right in Italy is not all right here. I don't think that's the solution anyway. But yeah, I think the ingredients is a big part of it. And yeah, so that's the thing. Plus, in Italy, we have a diet that is mainly carbs and fat, and protein is kind of the side. Yeah, like main thing is pasta. You know, I used to have lunch. Breakfast was croissant with cappuccino at the time when I was young, and lunch was, you know, pasta, bread, grissini on the table all the time. Yeah, there was dinner and lunch and dinner as well.
Well, it's true. I know Italy, meat is more of a rarity as opposed to the other courses. And in today, especially today, with the whole keto diets and low carb diets and all that stuff, it seems to be completely, flipped over there. It's but it really sounding like it's more of a case of the process and the ingredients with food manufacturing.
Yeah, and yeah, I believe that. I was feeling different as well. Yeah, I guess is of course because you can import the product from Italy. You know, you need to produce this product here as well, and it's different. And I felt on my body straight away.
Getting more into the fitness side of things, now that we're entering summertime in Australia and also out of lockdown, I guess there's a lot more people wanting to get back into shape and get back to the fitness and make it more of a priority. What is your assessment of the general fitness level of the Australian public?
Can you rephrase the question again? I didn't really understand the question.
With people wanting to get back into fitness now that lockdown's ending and it's summertime, what would you be your assessment of the current level of the general Australian public?
So you mean what they should do to get back into shape now that the gym are open, or what do you mean by assessment?
Oh well, the general assessment, in the sense of Australians by nature, are they seen as a pretty unfit bunch compared to others, or
Oh, look, I don't believe there is any difference between people really. There are people that go a better genetic that can get result faster than others, but honestly, it's all about consistency, how well you feed your body, and everyone can get the result they want. Really, there are no limitation. The limitation is just on your mind and how consistent you are with the process, how much you enjoy in the process, and it's all about that. Because if you start to focus on the outcome and you're really enjoying the process and you're passionate about what you're doing, doesn't matter how many times you get stuck, because you're curious, you're passionate, you always find a way to get to where you want to go.
that kind of goes into my second question. With although fitness is a relative concept compared to what the person goals are and their individual genetics. But what are some general guidelines you can give besides the standard move more, eat more healthy mantra?
Okay, so improve your standard means everyone knows what they're good at and they spend the majority of the time doing that. And in terms of, if you talk about fitness, you need to talk about nutrition 100%, training 100%, and mindset 100%, right? People usually spend a lot of time in training and don't spend a lot of time on nutrition because they want to train more so they can eat more, and this is never going to work. And awareness is another aspect as well. You want to understand why sometimes you want to eat more if you're not hungry. because you're stressed or blah, 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 whatever. So what I will say is you need to create a process that is going to be sustainable. So if you want to build your self-esteem in something, you want, or in general, you want to have a lot of little wins, right? How do you create a lot of wins? By decrease your standard, right? Or expectation. And I mean, if you put the standard expectation too high and you fail, you don't feel good, right? Instead, if you decrease your goal, you keep winning, you're more excited to keep going, right? If you create a process that is always a win, you're always inspired to do more and create a better standard eventually, right? That you can sustain and you feel inspired to keep going. That's what I will say. Create a process that is suitable for you, for where you are right now. There is no point in push yourself too much to fail and wanting to stop and don't keep going anymore. So you want to be able to create a new process you can sustain for at least 30 days. And from there, you build on top of that. You create a better standard, but without pushing yourself too much. You need to enjoy the journey.
So it's more of a concept of a mental discipline, and also give yourself small wins, as you say, to keep the motivation going.
100%. It's not really motivation, is inspiration, which are two different things. Because when you are motivated, you're pushing against something because you try to compensate something that you don't have. So you motivate because you don't like where you are. Inspiration is totally different, because inspiration, you understand why it's important to do certain things. So you have in your mind why is important to you. So it's something that is pull you from inside to act, which is totally different. People usually act because they don't like the current situation, and is not really a big win, because eventually the motivation will stop. Even if you don't like where you are, you can kind of give up. But if you really understand why it's important to achieve something, oh man, once you understand why that thing is so important, nothing can stop you. Because even in the toughest moment, you're gonna keep going, find the reason why. You know, that's the starting point.
With your background and your mentality, you have seen people make some pretty dramatic physical transformations. Could you go into a little bit of some of your more bigger success stories?
Oh yeah, I got few, and most of them are still training with me. And if I need to be honest, is that they changed the body composition, but I could see the way they changed with their mindset was the biggest and most important fact. That's the only way you can sustain the result you got. Because if you push yourself to do something that you're not comfortable in doing, after a while you go back to where you were before. But if you change your mindset, you're able to keep going and keep improving. And that's the big shift. And I can see that from some of them that now are them, they're telling me they got 1-2 reps more. When before they didn't want to do the reps, and now they actually push themselves. And even when I say stop, they keep going. That's the most amazing things. That's I think is the most beautiful things about fitness, because it's not about the way you look. Yeah, of course, everyone wants to look good. There is nothing wrong with that. But you need to shift something inside to make the way you look different.
Mm-hmm. But some of the also, keeping to the superficial, although what you say is important, but some of the transformations are unbelievable. Like, look like two different people.
Yeah.
Is there any examples you can give of actual numbers of changes you've seen in
Oh
your
well.
clients?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I got client of mine that she's still training with me, that she lost around 25 kilos in 5 months. Well, the number, it doesn't really give a good idea, because she totally changed the body composition. So literally she got way more definition, and of course the body changed drastically. Before, of course, she couldn't do a chin-up, and after she was able to do 4 chin-ups in a row, which for a female is something just great. She's 50 years old as well. That's probably, she was the best transformation ever. Even bench press, she wasn't able to lift the bar. Hey, we end up doing 6-7 repetitions with 50 kilograms.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay. You have a unique approach to fitness. For you, it's not just about the physical. You have a whole philosophy about way of thinking and positive thinking and being mindful and a positive outlook. That was part of your book that you wrote, How to Become Your Own Superhero. Could you please go a little bit more in detail about that?
Okay, well, yes, it's about your mindset. It's about the story of a kid that want to live his life following his passion and investing time in become better in his passion. And he was surrounded by people that were spending time with something they didn't like, but they needed to do to earn money and to make a living. And this kid didn't want to follow that kind of lifestyle. And it's kind of funny, because when you're surrounded by a certain reality, it's hard to get away from it. That's why this kid decided to leave and decided to create his own reality. And it wasn't easy at the beginning, because it's never easy. But eventually happened that he's living the life that he wanted to live. And it doesn't feel like he's working a single day of his life. And he got the time to spend time with his client, with literally become his family here in Australia. And, and I got a goosebump now that I'm talking to you, because, like, feels like it's a dream. And go back as well to teach in the same college where I studied creates some amazing feeling, because I can see the student that I can see myself when I teach. And I want to be the teacher that I always wanted to have, because I was the kind of student that was asking a million questions every time, and the teacher was almost get upset because I always But yeah, everything is possible if you're really willing to. I wouldn't say the work, I would say the passion, because once you're passionate about, doesn't feel like working, and
But also there's the whole aspect of mindset and being mindful and being appreciative and that type of thinking. I know you're very big on that as well. Can you go a little bit more in detail about that side of things?
Is more the mindset is talking about the law of attraction. Is something that I was into since when I was around 20. And is about not really the way you think is important, but the way you feel is even more important. Well, the way you feel is a reaction the way you think, right? So better you feel, better your body is responding, better everything is coming back to you. And once I understood that, everything changed. Because we tend to try to control things that we don't have control at all, right? And that's why we got stress. We not feel well, and everything kind of stopped working for us. Doesn't matter if it's body composition, doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's a relationship. I tend to speak about these 3 elements, because for me are the most important, right? Relationship, body composition, but I mean health, and business, right? Now, we have one thing that we have control on, is the way we think and what we focus on. Once you understand that what you focus on, if you focus on something that is pleasing to you, make you feel good, you feel better. And guess what happened? Everything else around you start to shift because you feel better. The way you approach people is better. So people is happy to do business with you. You talk to your wife, partner, husband, whatever, and the person is happy to stay with you. Everything start working better. And this is something everyone have control on. So, once you focus on these things, the way you feel, you understand that you got everything under control. Well, you can't control the way other people respond to you, but it doesn't matter because you have control in the way you respond to them. And that's create a certain empowerment in yourself because you can't blame anyone for the way you feel. You know that you got the control to focus on something that make you feel good. And this concept changed my life. And in terms of anything, body composition, business, and relationship as well. And I would like just to share this idea, especially with kids, because kids got still a dream inside. And I really believe that everyone should live the best life they can possibly be. So this is it.
Life hasn't yet grounded them down yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's never too late, really, if you're open to it. But what happens is, as you get older, you create certain pattern with your brain that are hard to change because you build momentum on them. And more you think about certain things, that's what belief is. Beliefs are thought that you keep thinking for a long period of time. And they're hard to break, right? Well, but there are ways to break them. But when you are a kid, you can literally, if you learn this concept, it's way easier, right?
Yeah, I suppose things haven't get fixed in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with in regards to your business, you've taken that into the way you've set up your own business. Can you go into a little bit about that? What made you break off and pursue your own fitness company?
Look, straightforward. It was just because I see in the industry, this focus is kind of create a bit of a sickness in terms of the way you look, create a lot of insecurity as well for the people that look from outside. They think you need to look in a certain way in order to be cool. And, like I was working for different companies and I was seeing a lot of good-looking guys and good-looking girls that were my colleagues, insecure about their body, insecure about their appearance, not too strong, not too big. And I said, this needs to finish, and everyone deserves to look the best they can be, but it's all about mindset as well, right? If you think that you will feel secure and confident with the abs, really, once you get the abs, you're not feeling much more confident because the abs can go away, right? And again, there is nothing wrong to have the abs. I love abs. I want everyone that train with me to have abs, but that's not the solution anyway. It's just a consequence, right, of the way you think. And there is no point in don't create a strong mindset, because you can go back straight away. I saw so many of my clients that wanted to achieve a very fast transformation after got totally back. And that's, as a coach, is something that I honestly don't like experience. And I didn't blame even once my clients for that at all, because of course it's hard. You got a certain way of thinking, living, and you can't expect to shift the way you think in 12 weeks, 10, you name it. It doesn't matter. It takes time, right? That's why I decided to start my own way. And in each session, there is mindset as well. There is not just push my clients to failure or whatever it is and train them very hard, give a nutrition plan, help them with the diet. There is even how they can shift their own emotion, thinking about food, training, and feel better overall. Stress, reduce stress, practice meditation. It's something that you can't take away. It's something that you can't exclude if you want to get a good result. Because you don't train for the body composition. Really, training is supposed to make you be better up life. It's not about the way you look. It's not how many more goals you can attract in your life. Well, this is an important factor, but you want to be better at life because you challenge yourself to become better. And as you become better, what is going to happen? You grow. As you grow, you feel satisfied about yourself. And as you feel satisfied about yourself, man, there is nothing better than that. Nothing better than that. And you just need to keep up with yourself, right? Every time you don't feel good with yourself is because you can't keep up with what your inner part is, you created. So that's why mindset, you can't exclude that. And so many people don't keep in consideration that. But it's not me. And so that's why I started to my own way. And I get better results. And, you know, my clients are not my clients anymore, or my family. And we help each other, support each other, which is, I think is beautiful.
It's amazing that you're saying that's not just the clients with that mentality, it's with the actual trainers as well. You would think by them seeing so many cautionary tales with their own clients and their own experiences and them achieving a certain level of fitness and even looks, you think they'll be more at peace, but a few of them are actually quite well, I suppose more insecure. It's very interesting how that can happen.
Yeah, because look, I had my own transformation as well, right? So look, honestly, I always been very fit all my life. Now, definitely I'm in a better shape, but I always like more or less the way I look anyway. And I don't want to say that I don't like that. That doesn't help. What I mean is just superficial. Is just you can't be defined by that, right? You can't be defined by that because nothing is permanent. Everything can change in any moment. And if you leave yourself and you think that you should be happy because something outside you happened, you are in a big trouble. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the body, but think about relationship as well, right? So it's the same thing. So yeah, you think about, yeah, I got a six-pack, I look great. And what if you can't train for 6 months because you can't train? What are you gonna do? You know, like if you build your security in something that is not stable, everything change, you are in a big problem. Yeah, it's an issue, right? This is not an excuse to not look great. You know, it's not an excuse to love the person you have next to you. Of course, that's part of life. You know, that's not an excuse to have a lot of money as well, have a beautiful business. But if your happiness depends on them and you can't feel good without them, it's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I guess it's more of a human issue as opposed to because as I said, yeah, I would think the trainers themselves would be more mindful and cautious about that type of stuff. But you know, the other trainers are still maybe even more so almost obsessed about their looks or about their composition or the fat measurements and intake and everything like that.
Okay, let me say this a bit better. So once you have a desire, you cannot don't move in the same direction of it to feel good, right? So what I'm saying is, you want to have the six-pack. That's it. Let's get a six-pack. You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing wrong on not having the six-pack. And that's what makes the difference between people, because we all have different desires, right? Once you have the desire to look in a certain way, just go for it, right? But it's totally different when you live the way you feel just because you look in a certain way. You know, like, it's good to move in the direction, doesn't matter body composition. It's good to find the partner that you really want. Still, it's the same concept. The partner can go away, right? But it's always good to look for the partner that you want, or aiming to have the body or achieve any goal with your business, doesn't matter. Is amazing to move in the direction, even because you don't have other option. Once you have a desire, you cannot don't look at it. You must move in the direction if you want to feel good. But if that is the only reason why you feel good, just by having it, you are in trouble. That's exactly the way I wanted to rephrase that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In regards to the actual fitness side of things, if you have a proper mindset, and although it's relative for every individual, what are some transformations can you see happen? Like, if you have a client that has a proper mindset and they disciplined, what type of transformations are there possible in achieving? As in looks and actual, able to lift how many weights, or fitness level, or energy, or things like that. I mean, how long will it take for a person to get there in a healthy way? Because I know there's other gyms that say, within 12 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever else. But truthfully, what are we looking at?
Okay, what we're looking at, if you want to talk about number, okay, strength is all relative, yeah? And the way the body change is all relative as well. You can have generally a fastest result with men compared to women. What I will say is, you want to aim to drop at the beginning, depending on how much body fat you have, around 1 to 1.5% of body fat each week, right? So as you get leaner, you don't want to have these numbers so big anymore, because as you get leaner, of course, you got less body fat, and you don't want to risk to lose muscle, right? So if someone is close to 25% of body fat, and he got a good foundation, you see that he's already got a good frame already at the bottom, it's easier to get a great transformation, right? Because you just need to adjust the diet, lose a few kilos, and in 12 weeks, you can have a really crazy result in the way it looks, right? Now, if you have someone instead that is the same body fat percentage, right? But he never trained before, right? So you need to build muscle. Well, yes, you can get a very good result, but it require more time, because building muscle takes longer, right? So I guess it's all relative. I guess everyone can achieve a good transformation. We all have different starting point. Generally speaking, 12 weeks are great for someone who sit between 20, 25-ish% body fat, yeah? And I guess kind of double for someone which is around 30, 35%, yeah? But of course, they need to have a very good nutrition plan. And when I say very good nutrition plan, there is not the perfect nutrition plan, but is the right plan for the person, you know? And the trainer need to check with the client and make changes when we need to. and the training plan need to change as well. You can't keep the same plan all the time unless someone is new to training, so can keep adapting. Not adapting, can keep make progress without changing so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're talking what, 12 weeks if you have a relatively healthy foundation, and what, double that if you're basically never trained before and started from scratch.
Yeah, if you want to talk about weeks, yes, but this is clearly all relative.
Yeah, I
To the
mean an
person,
overall.
of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so going back to my I suppose first question, now that people are kind of more ready to go training, end of year, summertime, end of lockdown, if you get a new clients coming in, what would be your general starting point for them?
In terms of training,
Well, everything, training,
well,
nutrition.
okay. So usually when I started with a new client, I need to see what he was doing before, yeah. But generally, I started with a full body workout, 3-day split. Usually, no need to train more than 3 times per week. Yeah, if the intensity is good, is a perfect starting point. Yeah, they can go to 4, but if you add an extra session, you don't recover from it's kind of waste your energy. Rather than moving and walking. Nutrition, of course, like I tend, if someone is overweight, I tend to leave the carbs out for at least the first 2 weeks, and let's see how we're going afterwards. Of course, good amount of protein, any meal. Well, I guess the meal plan is always a guessing at the beginning. You can get as close as you possibly can, but you kind of guess because you need to check with your client as they're going afterwards. Everyone is different, right? So you can't really get the perfect match at the beginning because everyone got different habit, different preference. So yeah, that the nutrition is something that must change and must be checked consistently because we're all different. Training as well, if I see that it's not progressing, that need to change as well, right? Stress is another important factor. If someone is very stressed at work, well, you need to change the variables as well for that.
What are the most common, I suppose, problems that you encounter with your clients, especially those starting out?
Look, I go one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is the reason, and that's that. I want one. That's it. That's it. If I could pick one reason why some of my clients didn't get the result, and it may sound funny and weird, is because they're too busy during the day. So they're too busy during the day, so they don't have time to eat. And they starve themselves because they think it's good. So they drink coffee and they forget about themselves and they put the work first, thinking that is a good idea to improve their efficiency, which is not, because it will never work. You need to put yourself first, and the work is secondary, so you can perform better. But what happens when they forget to eat or they're too busy? What happens when they get back home? They eat anything that is in front of them. So they actually overeat. And this is why, it may sound weird, but if people can just understand that they need to eat consistently during the day, it's done, because the blood sugar is constant and the craving kind of go away. And your choices are better, because when you starve, you eat anything that is in front of you. You can't really think as much, yeah, very clearly. But if you eat consistently, your blood sugar is kind of regular. When you get back home, yeah, you're hungry, but you make better choices.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying people generally put work first, think they're doing a good thing by pushing through. They think they're eating less, so they're um, skipping meals, but in the end, they just the body's just going into I suppose fight or flight mode, and it ends up putting weight on.
Think about this, yeah. Think about this. Let's talk about 100%, because think about your body. The body don't understand what you're doing, right? The body feel food come in, which is fuel, and food don't come in, right? And the body stress when don't see the food coming regularly, right? Because it doesn't know when it's gonna come next, right? This might be a weird example, but it kind of works out to me and to explain to my clients as well. So what you want is to get your body, your system in a relaxed state. Everything works when you are relaxed, right? Instead, when you stress, everything is tense. Nothing can flow well in that state, right? That's why it's important to have a good relationship with food and say, it's like when you breathe, right? Breathe air in, inhale, and exhale. What happens if you don't inhale? The next exhalation the next inhalation is going to be so big, right? Because you are without air. It is no regular, it's nothing can flow well in that state. So yes, that was the question, and pretty much it. You want to make sure that you're happy with what you're doing, everything feels right. You don't want to skip a meal. You want to eat, have a good choice when you eat, every time you eat. And less mistake you're doing, better result it is, because it's a long journey. You can't fail. Fitness, you can't fail, because you got all your life to improve, yeah? So what you got to do is training as much as you can. And when I say as much as you can, I don't say 3-4 hours. I mean, train for as many years as you can. So you don't want to risk to injure yourself if you don't train for a few months. So you want to be smart about it and train well. Understand that all your body's moving and push yourself, but don't need to do one great session a week and don't be able to train for 5 days because you overtrain, right? You want to be able to be consistent, overall improving, and with your diet is the same. Every time you eat is an opportunity for your body to make an improvement, right? So eating fast food, it doesn't do nothing good to your body, right? It doesn't make you feel full, doesn't have enough nutrients, vitamins, good protein, anything. So you want to make sure that every time you do something for yourself. And let me get back to it. Excuse me. Nothing is working if you don't prioritize yourself first. Well, can work, but to a certain extent, because real things works when you put yourself first. You feel good, and then you act, and in that moment you make the difference in anything that you're doing. But if you reverse, you put something else before you, well, how can you give if you're not full? Can't give it. So you need to replenish yourself and then act. Align yourself first and then act, and everything good is going to happen in this way.
Well, the hour is almost over. Went by pretty quick. Is there anything you would like to let people know in regards to health and fitness? And is there any way people can contact you?
Well, yes. My Instagram is Ruben Vfit. I started my own account just now, really, on TikTok with the same name, Ruben Vfit. But on TikTok, I just talk about emotion and mindset. On Instagram, instead, I share exercise execution, way of training. And look, if you want me to say something about fitness, I mean, I see all of us like a team. So we are here, we can inspire each other to be better. There is no competition. For me, there is cooperation. And we don't have much when we see each other individually, but we can have it all if we see each other as a team. So sometimes we don't want to be the best version of ourselves because we are too lazy or blah, 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 but really we don't have choice. I think we need to aim to be the best we can be because it's a duty that we have, not just for us, but for the people that are around us, for the people that we love as well, because we are all in this together and we need to grow because life makes us grow anyway. And it's our choice to actually intentionally accepting to grow or let the life do it and forcing us to grow in a way that maybe we don't want to. Yeah. So it's like, be the best you can be. You don't have other choice anyway if you want to be happy, and keep going and have a laugh, but keep pushing yourself.
Okay. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully you'll come back on another time. We can go more in depth.
100%. I would be very happy to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Bye.